MK, and I am back with another May I Scraplift You scrap lift. Yep, that's it. And today, I apologize if I mess up this name. I really, really do. But it's Lisa a mate or a mite. I'm not really sure how to say her name. But she is on the design team for Kaisercraft, and I ran across this layout actually looking for something else, and I found this layout and I thought, oh my goodness, I absolutely love what she has done, but I don't know what she's done yet. I haven't picked it apart or pulled it away. You know, I haven't like zoomed in or anything like that to see what she's done just yet. And then I also wanted to go over to the blog and read her post is kind of what I did. But I want to show you guys what I pulled out as far as what it is. I also want to let you guys know that it is Wood Grain Wednesday, and I totally spaced Take Out Your Tools Tuesday. So I'm going to try to take out the tools today, but I'm not really sure. I'm very limited on the type of tool that I want to bring out, and it didn't go with yesterday's video, and today's video is kind of the same. It might not work. So, but I do want to take out the tool and at least show it to you guys, but I definitely want to use it as well. So what do I have? Stop talking, tell you what I have right here. I have my 3 photos. Oh, my kids were so young. So I have 3 photos of my kids riding this homemade little train out of 55-gallon drums. It is so cute. And the tractor's all painted black, made to look like a, it's made to look like the engine of the train, you know, like a steam engine, but it's just a lawnmower, actually. And then you can see my little girl sitting down. She's too, or my oldest, she's too big to be here in the train. My other kids were too big as well. So yeah, my other 2. But you're only allowed to be so big, and these 3 still were, and it was adorable. Okay, then I also pulled out this really cute Sun-Kissed collection that I picked up from the Scrapping Reflections store. Sorry, I almost said Facebook group. Because that's what I'm so used to saying. She also created a ton of acrylics. I only picked up the clouds, but she created a ton of acrylics to go with, to match the Sun-Kissed collection. So I have the acrylics, I have the buttons. Yeah, wood buttons. And then the foamies, I have those. The glitter words, which I only used a few hearts last time, so I have those. I have these, just not for boys, little sparkles left in this gorgeous yellow. And then the enamel dots that I keep forgetting about that I put in with this collection from Close to My Heart. I added this cameras that were a paper house, photo play, paper house. They were paper house, but they were 4 HP. They were like a collab. Cool thing. And then my scraps. So I have the clear stickers by the Sun-Kissed. My cut apart sheet that I have in there as well. Some scraps going on right here. Now I just pulled out the whole thing. I have no idea what papers I'm going to be using. I just don't know. This is a bag that I thought matched really well. And oh, there's other bags inside. There's a bag inside of a bag with another bag. But I thought these colors went really well with the Sun-Kissed collection, so I threw it in as well. My scraps, and then all the papers that I have left over for this collection. Okay, so I have all of these goodies. Aren't those fantabulous? Yes. But for my wood grain, it does come with a wood grain. Oh my god, that's gorgeous. It does come with a wood grain, but I am not going to be using that said wood grain. Instead, I also pulled out the floral die cuts from Happiness. I love the grungy flowers more than I like these types of flowers, you guys. I don't like the cutesy. I prefer these. So I'm going to see if they work. I'm going to see if they play well together. The yellow is what really drew me to this collection to begin with. Anyways, Now it's like I don't even know what to say anymore. But anyways, the wood grain won't work because that's not what I wanted to go for. Now she used a wood grain more like this and trimmed it up and made it go in the direction she wanted it to go. I have no idea how she did it. But this is the one, but to me, or this is the style that she used, ish. But to me, if I put all these papers, it's just dark. You know, it's just a little on that dark side and kind of sort of is scary in a way. It's more like a haunted house wood grain. So instead, I pulled out this wood grain. Now, both of these wood grains, both of these two wood grains, and they're shiny. I don't like shiny paper, but they're pretty, are from Paper Rose. I picked them up at scrapbook.com, and I picked out this one because it's got that light texture to it and it's hexagons. And I thought I could probably get the exact same effect as what she's doing here with hexagons instead of these, the weaving looking stuff. Maybe. I'm not sure. But I have this still sitting here. So anyways, those are the supplies that I'm going to do. This is the inspiration that I'm going to copy. And yeah, but I want to pull out really quickly, because I know I love to talk. I want to pull out my tool that was supposed to be for yesterday. And I know I kind of mentioned it last Tuesday, and maybe some of you guys were super stoked to see how this tool works. And I apologize, I forgot to bring it out. I'm very, very sorry. Basically what it is it is 3D embossing folders. Now it's slightly different than the regular embossing folder, and I showed you guys the thickness difference, but it also goes in your machine differently. Now I have to remove an entire plate to get mine to work. But what another hint and tip, which I'm pretty sure comes with almost all of these, is what I like to do is I like to put my piece of paper. Now I just have a scrap here. I like to put my piece of paper within my embossing folder and then take my water and spritz it. Not the whole thing. It doesn't have to be soaking wet. It just goes psh, and that's it. One thing makes that noise too. It just does the one thing, and then I don't wipe it off. I don't do anything. I just close my embossing folder just like so, and I run it through my pad. Okay, now don't get me wrong, all the water smooshes out and gets on my platform, but it's plastic. It'll be okay. It just wipes right up. So anywho, that is what I do to get these to work. For one, I have to remove a plate, which is my it's my thin cut plate. So the one plate that's made to thicken up all of my plates so I can use the thinner dies. So I just have to take that out for my machine, my setup, and then squirts it one time with water. I close it up. I don't dry it. I don't do anything. I don't try to make sure that the whole thing is saturated. Nothing, because the water doesn't compress. Okay, it's either going to go into the paper or out of the plastic, right? So that's it. It's only two options. So what it's going to do first is it's going to squeeze as much around the paper as possible, but then out the plastic is going to be the next move that it's going to do. And it actually it works quite well just doing the one little squirt. But the reason why I did not pull it out yesterday is because I really didn't. I mean, I could have probably used this one. This one is like a distressed, cracked, like it's a cracked, I don't know. It's cracked. And then of course I have a Halloween one because I love Halloween, but we don't take a whole lot of pictures of Halloween. I have a cute little floral. This one's uber super thick. Now wait a minute. Some of them aren't as thick as the other ones. Maybe this one isn't. And maybe that one isn't. Maybe they're just uber super thick. Hang on. See? I don't even know what I'm talking about. Like, I don't think these ones are, but I know these ones are. And then you are. You are, but you are not. Weird. Okay, so see, I just reduced it down even more because they look almost the same. I mean, they almost look to where you have your regular one and your thick one. But the thick one has a thin on the top and thick on the bottom. And basically what that is it gets a deeper emboss. So you're smushing your paper deeper down, and that is why you need to scorch your water on the paper, is so that way it doesn't just break, because it's trying to stress that paper down into those cracks. So anywho, I am going to try, and keyword is try, to find one of these that works. Probably not the flower. Maybe I could. That's a lot of fussy cutting though, is what I'm envisioning. And then I've got another flower right here that is, and you can definitely feel it. You can feel the difference between a heavily, a 3D and a not 3D. Yes, you can definitely feel the difference, which these must just be thicker plastics than what they used to be. But I've got two flowers. One's more of a background for cards and things, and then the other one is just a floral piece. And then of course I have a Tim Holtz one here. His is always grungy and dark looking, but it's a circuit board. Had to have that. I have this brick wall, which I absolutely love, by the way. And then I have this one, which is old world paper. So it's just supposed to look like wrinkled paper. And it feels like my grandmother's washboard. And then I have this one. This one was my favorite. I had to have it. It's corrugated. So your paper comes out corrugated, and you don't have to buy any. So yes, I absolutely loved that as well. If I do any of them, it might be this old world or the brick. So if I do any of those with this, but I wanted to show you guys what I have, and these ones I might de-stash because I can't foresee me using these. Yeah, so anywho, yeah, out of all the little ones that I had, I didn't have very many, which is fine. It is just fine, but I think I'm going to end up using these two. I'll at least put them here on my desk so I know that I have them. But other than that, I cannot, I'm not really sure if I can incorporate them within this one, but why don't I leave them on my desk? If I don't incorporate them on this one, maybe I can incorporate them on tomorrow's video for Thumbnail Thursday. But I did want to go over these and talk to you about them, and the fact, there's not much difference. It's just a deeper emboss for them, but your machine setup has to be reconfigured, as well as that little spritz of water, so your paper doesn't crack and rip and get damaged in any way, shape, or form. All right, so I'm gonna clear off my desk and get started on this layout that I am so super stoked for. I cannot wait, and yeah, let's get going. As I went to the blog site, I actually found this printout where she has pictures and a very detailed description of how she did her layout. I was very impressed. So I went and I cut all of my pieces. I just took my paper and I cut it apart. Now, I was going to use the hexagon paper, but the more I thought about it, the more I actually really liked the contrast of the dark wood grain and the bright flowers. So I went ahead and I cut all my pieces. I just followed the lines of random wood pieces. I'm not sure. And now I am just trying to decide how wide I want my strip. Now I should have went a little bit wider, but I wanted that white space. I didn't want it to be completely filled up. So, and I did have specific pieces cut for specific areas to cover the gaps going in a diagonal. Again, angles. Didn't I learn on the last layout? Apparently not. So I just take a few minutes to actually try and get the gaps all filled in, because the way that I had it cut, it was perfect. So, well, it covered the gaps perfect. It wasn't perfect, but You get what I'm saying. I did have it go from corner to corner and no white spaces in the corners. Now, I didn't mind the white spaces in the center of the, of the wood grain because of the fact that, one, my photos are going to cover it up, and two, I will actually have embellishments and things like that to cover it up as well. So when I did all this, my little strip in the center ended up getting skinnier and skinnier, which was okay, except for, spoiler alert, I do actually end up covering most of this work up. You don't get the same effect that she got with just her single photo, because I do end up using all three of my photos. But I do enjoy all of the layers that ended up on this layout. So basically what I'm saying is she cut apart a whole bunch of extra little pieces on her description, or in her directions. She cut out just random pieces and didn't make them the same or anything, and inked the edges, and then pop dotted them all up. So I am going to do the exact same thing. Now, my layers are going to be harder to see because I am using such a dark layout. So this does kind of sort of seem like, a wasted effort in a small way. But I actually, when you look at the layout, basically at an angle or in real life, you will see that it does, they do stick out quite a bit. So I have, inked all my edges, and now I will be putting, I'm so sorry. I will be putting foam dots behind all of the pieces to pop them up. Now, some of them I actually push a little off the edge, so that way it can, you guys can see them, and then it's not so asymmetric, all the little triangles and stuff like that. So I wanted it that way. Now I'm just trimming off the edge of my, the images that fell off the paper, I guess I should say. I wanted to make sure that I didn't cut wonky. I'm still trying to get used to these Tim Holtz serrated edge scissors. They're definitely a learning curve, you guys, for sure. For those of you that have been using them for a while, any hints and tips would be amazing, because I find that my paper actually has a rough edge when I use them, but I also am used to smooth edge scissors. So anyways, I went into my travel stash and I found a bunch of train icons. These icons are actually all from Creative Memories. I expressed all because I have more that you guys have not seen yet. I had a sticker sheet and die cuts, and I think that's it. Yes, sticker sheets and die cuts. So, and then I went and I trimmed my photos just to 3x4. Actually, they're a little bit small. They're 1/8 of an inch smaller than a 3x4. That is usually how I cut my photos down, is 1/8 of an inch smaller than the photo mat. I don't necessarily need a huge photo mat, but I do enjoy having either the color or the starkness show through just a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot. So then I'm cutting down this really colorful paper down to 3x4. And again, I just want that teeny tiny itty bitty little bit of color to pop behind the photos, and especially against the stark, dark background that I'm using. So, and like I said, the photos and all of the embellishments that I end up adding do cover up most of this, but in the close-ups, you can see the detailed work and all the layers that were involved. So it is one of those layouts that, a photo just doesn't do it justice. You have to see it in real life. Sorry, and I did have one teeny tiny little, like my photo just seemed too small. But I'm not sure if maybe the paper was just cut a little bit bigger than 12x12. That's all. Yep. So now I'm just trying to figure out where I want my placement, and I think I like it just like that. I love these round train tracks. I absolutely love them. I'm going to have to figure out how to recreate them because they're just adorable, in all honesty. And now I'm taking all of the flowers. I love these messy flowers. I like them a lot better than, the delicate, perfect little print of flower. These are more of a rugged flower, even though they're bright and cheery and beautiful. I do actually enjoy, this type of flower on my layout. So anyways, sappy. I'm just trying to figure out how to, tuck all of these embellishments in. And when I have extra bits that I have no intention of using, I basically put them away right away. So that way I can, I get them off my desk and I don't have to have all that clutter on my desk. So I basically just finished picking out all of the flowers, and now I'm just going to see how they fit on the layout. Of course, when it does come to gluing, because I have everything laid out, I cut out the gluing process because that is kind of sort of like, rewatching me lay everything back down. Oh, I also took this sticker that says toot toot, and it's the little whistle on the trains, or used to be. I cut out where the little string was because I just felt like it stuck out like a sore thumb. So that's kind of basically all I did. Again, it's one of those things that's in the close-ups that you guys can see. So, and like I said, I took out most of the gluing process because of the fact that I felt like it was just watching it over again. But then I left in this portion because these ones were individually tucked and glued and tucked and glued. So, yeah. And I in all honesty, I am just using up the supplies now. I could have stopped and not tucked in these extra flowers, but they were out, they matched, and they didn't clutter up the layout, if that makes any sense. Now, again, I did end up, covering up most of my wood grain, but I love seeing it peek through everywhere. Now, I want to add this blue ticket because I have a blue flower, and it's a very lonely blue flower because I used all the other blue flowers on another layout that was more monochromatic. So I definitely wanted to add in that blue. And also I have blue in my little sticker that says train ride and the toot toot sticker with the whistle. So I just wanted to add in the various colors of blue that are in that one particular flower. Now I'm just adding these two teeny tiny little like star flowers. I also added pop dots or foam dots behind them just because I wanted a little bit of more dimension. Because of all the wood pieces that I stuck on the wood grain itself, my photos were popped up. So basically I used those as the foam for my photos. Yep. That's basically what I did. And then because it was a little bit too white of a white space, I decided to just add some of this neon green sprinkle as well as some of this peachy pink spray. I forgot what it was called. And only because it was left over from another project that I did recently. So pulled out my sparkles from the Not Just for Boys kit club, and I'm bringing in some of that yellow. There wasn't any yellow whatsoever in any of these flowers, and my youngest son's little cart was bright yellow, and so I wanted to make sure that I brought in some of that yellow throughout the page. So, and these sparkles were absolutely perfect. It was almost like they were meant for this layout. I love that. I love it when supplies just fall right where they're supposed to be. And it feels good because this is the last of this package. And it's like, ta-da, I'm all done. Yay, I get to throw a package away. Now, of course, I won't throw the card away that they came on because it's waste not packaging. And so on the other side, there's lots of little labels and lots of little things. Now, I did also forget the sticker packs that I brought out. I totally forgot to even look at those. But hey, it happens. Just had a bunch of fun. Tucking and layering and all these little things. So added one of these little puffy cameras, and I do love running my fingers over them. They were so puffy. I love that. And then I decided to pull off just a few flowers from this puffy sheet. Now I pulled out a pink one and a yellow one. The orange one really didn't match, and the blue one also was kind of a little weird. I could have used it, but then again I thought, no, it doesn't really go. So I decided not to. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is add enamel dots. Now I did debate whether or not it needed the enamel dots, but these blue ones matched perfectly, and I did want a little bit of blue, and so I thought, well, blue sprinkles would be kind of nice. So because I don't want too much blue sprinkles, the enamel dots work perfectly. So I put 3 on the right side and 3 on the left side, or upper or lower, however you want to look at it. And then I'm debating whether or not these yellow enamel dots actually are too pastel, or do they work? And the more I thought about it, the more it's like they do. They kind of work really well, actually. So again, 3 on one side and 3 on the other, and that's it. I am done. I am so happy with how this turned out, and I hope the close-ups show you guys where you can see all that little wood grain peeking out here and there. Some of the flowers are tucked under the layers, some of them are on top of the layers. I just love all the little details that are in this layout. I do want to thank Lisa for sharing the directions and instructions on how she created her layout. I thought that that was pretty cool, and I will also link them down below because I couldn't find her on on social media. So I do know she's a design team member for Kaisercraft, and she still is. So if you go to the Kaisercraft blog, which I will also link, you can go down to their design team members and click on her and see some of her artwork. Anyways, thank you so very much for watching. Be sure to check out everyone else down below that is also playing along with my May I Scraplift You with Pineapple Papers, which is Crystal Barrett, here on YouTube. All right, I'll talk to you later. See ya.